Hello, welcome to another edition of the Willie Bragg Show. I am Willie Bragg, and I want to talk about this the trucker crisis in Canada, the strike, freedom convoy, whatever you want to call it, the mandate that by the federal Canadian government to make sure that that the truckers are fully vaccinated and have their COVID passports, and it's causing a lot of it's causing a culture war. Yeah, Canadians are getting a taste of the culture war too. It's bad enough we get to have it here. Feel sorry for the Canadians that have to endure this. And so, what I want to do is I'm going to play you, just kind of give you a background a little bit from the impartial BBC News, and I can give you my take right afterwards. So, here we go.
In Canada, thousands of people have been protesting in the capital over COVID rules. Truck drivers are at the centre of this. They've been blocking roads in Ottawa, and the authorities say it's got out of hand. There's now a state of emergency.
We're outnumbered, and we need to ensure that the order is brought back to our city, particularly as the first priority of the residential areas where these people have been subjected to this kind of boorish behaviour.
And this is the kind of behaviour the mayor's referring to.
There were reports of assault, threats, mischief. There were hate-motivated incidents taking place. We have businesses that have been forced to shutter. We have residents that fear leaving their residence because of the intimidation.
But for the truck drivers, this is about a point of principle.
People should be able to make their own choice to take the needle or not take the needle and not lose the job, not lose their house, not lose their income. Just for the vaccination.
The protests continue. They're not new. This actually started last month when Justin Trudeau's government brought in a vaccine mandate for truckers arriving from the US. All Canadian truckers must be vaccinated to avoid a 14-day quarantine. And in protest, a loose coalition of truckers and conservative groups was formed. And what's been called the Freedom Convoy began making its way from Western Canada to Ottawa. Quickly, it was attracting support from much further afield. For example, many US conservative politicians have expressed their support for the truckers. Republican Senator Ted Cruz tweeted, "The government doesn't have the right to force you to comply with their arbitrary mandates." But this is also no longer just about the trucker vaccine mandate, but about COVID restrictions in general.
They're not just asking for an end to that mandate for truckers. They're calling for an end to all vaccine mandates, top to bottom, at every level of government, which is something that the Trudeau administration nationally can't even do.
The website Politico also reports that the movement is now wider than just vaccine mandates, writing, "It's quickly escalated into a global movement, incorporating a loose set of anti-establishment causes coordinated on social media and encrypted messaging groups. And a broad idea underpins many of these causes."
I support the truckers because they're standing up for freedom. Our Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms has been violated in many, many ways.
For some, it's a stand for freedom. For Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, it's something different.
The small fringe minority of people who are on their way to Ottawa or who are holding unacceptable views that they're expressing do not represent the views of Canadians who have been there for each other.
That phrase, fringe minority, has not gone down well in some quarters. Elon Musk tweeted, "It would appear that the so-called fringe minority is actually the government. If the government had the mandate of the people, there would be a significant counter-protest. There is not, therefore, they do not." Well, Justin Trudeau does have a broad mandate. His Liberal Party failed to win a majority in the recent election, but it did form the government. Also, a recent opinion poll found that 68% of Canadians felt that they had very little in common with the truckers. The Canadian Trucking Alliance also tells us an estimated 85% of the 120,000 Canadian truckers who work cross-border are vaccinated. That is in line with the nearly 90% of Canadians overall. Nonetheless, as we can see, some truckers aren't happy, and nor are some Ottawa residents who want more done to end the protest.
They could prevent them from parking. They could prevent them from entering the city.
I lost my job 3 weeks ago.
Well, I'm losing my sanity because of you guys.
There's an impasse in that conversation. There's an impasse overall. The truckers, for the moment, are staying, and the government insists the vaccine mandate stays too.
Okay. Well, first, before we get to the meat and potatoes of this discussion, the BBC reporter mentioned Elon Musk, and so let me just get this out, just because I want to. First of all, Elon Musk has something to say. Whenever anything that's uttered by Elon Musk, let me just say, fuck Elon Musk for starters. I mean, the man is a billionaire. Fuck all billionaires. Their opinion means nothing to me. And for him to put his 2 cents worth, and for the people to go and report it like he's relevant. Elon Musk is part of the problems that exist in our world today. Elon Musk is a cancer. He's a billionaire. If there's a bigotry I have, it's a bigotry against billionaires. Fuck all billionaires. Fuck Elon Musk. I got that out of my chest. So let me get back to the truckers situation. Okay. Now, regarding the truckers, I think it's a mistake for progressives, the center left, the left in general, to overly simplify and vilify all the truckers. I know a lot of these truckers, it's a very conservative looking profession. You associate truckers in America with beer-bellied rednecks, what have you, and same thing in Canada, the Canadian version of that. So, there is a cultural stigma that's kind of easy for elitists and even some out-of-touch lefties to just go and write them off as a bunch of right-wingers. And come on now. A lot of those truckers belong to a labor union. A lot of those truckers, especially in Canada, are minorities, like Sikhs, for example. And we got people, whether they're right-wing white people or whether they're Sikhs or whatever demographics, doesn't matter. They're all trying to make a living. And as socialists and as supporters of labor unions and supporters of workers, they need to be recognized as workers and we need to be in solidarity with them. Now, some of the assholes who are racist, individual truckers, fuck them. Okay, fuck them. But yeah, I think there is actually a compromise that can be made, because I can understand both the Canadian government and the truckers' concern. I can actually understand both perspectives. The Canadian government wants to get COVID under control. I'm not crazy about Justin Trudeau. I wouldn't vote for the Liberal Party in Canada. My politics is with the NDP, even though I am going to criticize the New Democratic Party in this commentary this time. But the point I'm trying to make is that the government is trying to get rid of this, or basically isolate this COVID, make COVID no longer a problem in Canada. And we can argue all day long what methods they're using and if it's right or wrong. We can argue about that all day long. But the motives or the motive or the goal is to isolate the virus and make the virus disappear as much as possible. And so you had these guidelines, and so, but a lot of truckers don't want to comply with getting a jab, or they don't like the idea of being told what to do. They don't, and their lives are going to be made a little rougher as a result. They feel micromanaged as it is. And I know about the situation. I'm not a trucker, but I know what truckers go through, because I work in a line of work where I had to deal with truckers over the years, and it's not an easy job. It really isn't an easy job at all. So there is a little bit of empathy I'm going to feel with the truckers in that regard. the empathy with the Canadian government trying to put a stop to this virus, and the empathy with the truckers trying to do their job with as little difficulty as possible. And so, I probably should do is this. Give me a second here. So you got these protests that's been going on, and and I'm just going to ask the left to to just not try to force or make an enemy unnecessarily, because it's always a trap that liberals on both sides of the border, especially liberals here in the United States, fall into, and that is to they end up instead of saying, hey, I'm running for office, I'm going to try to make your life better, I'm going to try to raise your wages, I'm going to try to let you have access to free medical care or very, very low cost medical care. I'm out there looking for you and your family and working families across the country to protect you guys and gals from the abuses of corporations. Liberals should have no trouble winning in these elections. They should have no trouble at all. There's no need for Ted Cruz or Mitch McConnell to be in the Senate when you can use good old-fashioned class warfare to defeat these people. And so liberals have fallen under this kind of trap. That kind of liberalism where you're afraid to wage class warfare and take your own side and your own argument on these on issues that are easy to win, but you go into overdrive on culture war issues that are definitely losing issues. This kind of export went into the mentality in Canada with people like Justin Trudeau, and so I don't know what the polls are, or what have you. If they have the election in the next, the Stephen Harper era, I know he's not the leader of the Conservative anymore, but you can see the ghost of Stephen Harper come back again in Canada if people like Justin Trudeau do not exercise any common sense. So this guy is Canada's Beto O'Rourke. Actually, even less cool than Beto O'Rourke. Neither of them are cool. But wow, you have Canadian politicians learning the wrong lessons from America. Learning the wrong lessons. But I'm also very I'm kind of angry with or irritated, shall I say, with Jagmeet Singh, who is the leader of the New Democratic Party, the party I would belong to if I lived in Canada, the NDP. And he basically surmise and declare these people, the truckers, the striking truckers, as equivalent to domestic terrorists, and that's a little over the top. That is over the top in that regard. So there is a solution to this situation, and the solution to this trucker crisis is this. Let them know that if they agree to take the shot, the boosters, all that, go through the pass, have their passports and everything, to give each and every one of these truckers $5,000 or $10,000. Bribe them, in other words. I am sure the truckers who are not vaccinated will be like, go ahead, I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm ready for that needle now. Bribe them. Don't bully them. Bribe them. Use money to tell, even some of these fucking conservative truckers in Canada will start voting Liberal or NDP if they're given some fucking money to put in their pocket. But no. They're going to copy the American bullshit way. Nanny state without the actual nanny. That is what goddamn American faux progressives do here in the United States. Why the hell is Justin Trudeau trying to imitate, someone like Beto O'Rourke or some other cheesy elected Democrat who wants to make your life miserable in the name of the public good without you financially compensating for it? Give them money. That's all it takes. Give them money. And if they don't want the vaccination, they turn down the money, that's okay. Leave them alone. I can guarantee you, most of the truckers will be vaccinated. It give them $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000. They'll be like, hey, I'm ready. Put that needle in my arm. It's not that difficult. It isn't that difficult. Put money in their pocket. Don't bully them around, especially a wimp like Justin Trudeau. Now, I know I'm being harsh on Justin Trudeau. I have some nice things to say about him. I'm glad Canada legalized marijuana, thanks to Justin Trudeau. I am there. There are some things I can say about Justin Trudeau that's positive. But it's not really rocket science as far as how you can solve this crisis without turning it into a motherfucking culture war. Canadians, I'm pleading with you. Don't copy us here in the United States, some of the bullshit things that we do down here. Because it's that way. It's really that way here. I mean, here it's basically the nanny state without the actual nanny. Now, as far as the mandate itself, and again, yeah, you don't have to have a mandate. All you have to do is to recommend you get the shot, and you will be well financially compensated for it if you agree to get the shot. If you don't want to get the shot, don't get the shot. You're just not going to get $5,000 or $10,000 or whatever amount that they could potentially come up with. That's basically what I'm saying. So, yeah, end the mandate. And if you really think the more truckers being vaccinated is the best policy, give them money. Give them money. It isn't that hard. Give them money. Don't make their lives miserable. Give them money. Why is it hard for people to do this? I think they have some experts, and they probably say, oh, this is the way that they do it down in the south of the border over here. This is the way they do stuff. Let's go and do that. Canadians, please don't sit there and imitate the bullshit way we do things here. If anything, we need to look up to you guys up in Canada and copy what y'all do. But not if you're going to copy, what corporate Democrats do here in the United States. I'm not going to say right wing, because even the right wing in Canada are less right wing than the right wing here. They're more right wing than the right wing in Britain, but maybe less right wing than they are here. But yeah, I would say yes, the mandates do need to end too. We need to get back to normal as a society. And yeah, mandates are kind of fascistic in a way. A lot of education can take care of this. A lot of education. Canada, you're one step ahead of us in the game. You got health care. You got your Medicare for all system already. Had it for many years. Canada Health Act of 1966, in fact. We hear where a public option is controversial. Lowering Medicare age eligibility down to 60 is spooky radical. Canada, you're one step ahead of us. You're one step ahead of us. Free health care. And yeah, I mean, And that's what it's all about. You got the health care you need. You get sick. And don't have to sit there and make truckers' lives more miserable than they already are having it. And give them a reason to get the shot. If you get the shot, you get money. That's what it takes. I mean, that's my view. I mean, I'm vaccinated. If you're not vaccinated, I am not going to hold that against you. You got your reasons. And the one thing I can't stand is, you hear, it's one thing when you hear people, fake liberals wanting to force a vaccine on people. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that just as much as the right wing and libertarian types. But then I get shit on by conservatives and libertarians because I'll be like, well, I don't believe in mandates myself. I believe in civil liberties, but I also believe it makes sense personally to me to go and get the needle. So I got vaccinated. I got my booster shot. But I'm not saying you should. But then some of those people will be like giving me a lot of shit about me, getting the jab, and I'm just a sheep and just a follower. So, I get it. I get it from both ends in that regard. And it makes me a centrist. I'm not a centrist. I can guarantee you all that. So anyway, that's just basically what I have to say right now. Wanted to get it out of chest and wanted to know what each and every one of y'all think about this. So we have a chat line here. I love chat lines. Let's go up to the top. Dirtbag left us. How are you today? The whole trucker convoy is AstroTurf BS. Only a few channels are exposing this. Well, let's see here. The old lady was ready to fight, man, says Hot Retarded Checks. JAP writes, no insensitive mandates. End the mandates. As a civil libertarian, I would be inclined to agree. Mandates are fascistic. Yes, they have that effect. Freedom is the whole point of the protests, and I always agree with the right to protest. I definitely always agree to the right to protest. Yes, sir, but it is forced free healthcare that is not healthy. Then even free healthcare is pointless if forced. Well, with regard to the healthcare in Canada, I mean, it's compulsory taxation, true, but so are roads and infrastructure. It needs to be free, and Canadians are one step ahead of us in that regard. Let's see what we got here. Free ivermectin. They are blocking alternatives, and we all deserve a buffet of good, safe choices, not forced, expensive, bad medicine. I'm for whatever it takes to get rid of this COVID without curtailing on civil liberties, including alternative medicines. Mandates are homoerotic. Gee, I don't know what to say about that. Anyway, if y'all like what you heard, press like and comment. If you disagree, comment anyway. We'll have a conversation. Feel free to share the content on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you to create your own platform and utilize it because we're the muckrakers of our time. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. And until next time, keep that red flag flying high. Keep that class struggle going. And remember this. We're all Julian Assange. Music.
I see trees of green.